Hi everybody, this is Jamie with another one of my videos about self-empowerment. And it's been a long time since I've done a video and I've changed my hair. It happened. It hasn't happened in a while, but I really wanted to change my hair because I work in a salon now and I just see people get their hair done all the time. And I got that itch. I hadn't colored my hair for 5 years. And you'll probably notice in my first video, I talked about finding oneself. And I took a long time to find myself. I finally did, and I learned that I really liked being natural. I really valued nature and just kind of accepting who we are. But I also kind of explained in that video that I'm still working on finding myself and I know a lot about myself. However, I still go through phases. And I guess for that reason, I wanted to talk about integrity for this video, but I feel like because of that specifically, I really want to talk about integrity for this video. Now, the reason I bring up integrity is because if you watch the first video and you think, oh, this girl is about nature and being natural, and then you watch this video and you see that I bleached and colored my hair, it's like, all right, I can't take this girl at her word. Like, who is she? It's almost like all of my value and accreditation just goes away, it goes out the window. And this happens a lot with a lot of people. So that's why I wanted to address integrity. So my point about it was that it's integrity is about basically it's not exactly like admitting when you're wrong, but kind of. That's like a part of it. So I'm not saying that I was wrong, but what I'm addressing is that if first I said one thing and now I'm doing another, I don't I don't like the idea of being a hypocrite. That does not sit well with me, mostly because integrity is a huge part of my character. So basically, this is a really good example, an illustration of integrity, where it's kind of like explaining myself. So it's like I say something at first, and then when it appears like I could be being a hypocrite, it's like I'm explaining where I was coming from, basically, like why it might seem like that and why that's not the case. So it's not wiggling my way out of something, because when someone wiggles their way out of a situation, I think that they're lacking integrity because they're maybe being manipulative. Where integrity, I looked up a definition and it's kind of it's there's not like a very clear definition where it's like boom, that's what integrity is. It's kind of like a tough concept. I think it's kind of an advanced concept. And I remember as a kid, I thought it was a confusing word. I had no idea what it meant. It was in, I guess, the creed of my school. So we used to have to talk about all these values of our school and what the students are supposed to incorporate into our character. And I remember the word integrity and I didn't know what it meant. So I was like, well, guess I don't have to do that one. So now as an adult, it has become one of my favorite words, one of my favorite concepts. And so I wanted to look up the definition because I'm like, what does this actually mean? So one of the definitions says the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. But the other one's really cool, the state of being whole and undivided. So the reason I really like that one is because when I think of a human, I think of this complicated being that's made up of all these different parts. And like a person we have so many different sides to us, and it's kind of difficult sometimes to have all of these different parts work together to make us one consistent being. And I really like the word consistent for what I'm explaining because a lot of people's flaws have to do with inconsistency. And it's something that I've thought about a lot, and I've just kind of studied it for years. I mean, the idea of when I'm trying to figure out who am I, it's like I've described this I think in my first video where I was like I have all these different parts of me that I feel like contradict each other. So it kind of made me sad because I was like, how can I be, well, this is exactly like the main example that like always bothered me because I was in school when I first started the videos, I was in school for cosmetology, which is like hair and makeup and stuff. And I wanted to go to school for massage therapy as well. So the massage is more like holistic and healing and natural, where cosmetology is like coloring hair and like putting on makeup and like nails, which is like, just chemicals, like nail polish, it's chemicals. So I was really conflicted inside because these things contradict each other, but yet they were both really big parts of me. So when a person is presenting his or herself to the world, in order to gain respect, see, integrity and respect, I think, go hand in hand. In order to get respect from people, it's really important to have integrity and to be consistent. So I guess what that means is, I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know, for some reason this comes to mind. So, or ooh, there's a better one. So let's say someone is like vegan and says that, animal rights, like I really care about animals and it's so important to me and blah blah blah, like, I'm super righteous. But then you see that person with like a leather purse. That's inconsistent. Happens all the time. It's so common. Or some people, like some really extreme vegans, don't believe in pets, like having pets, but yet a lot of vegans have pets. So I'm definitely not knocking vegans, and another side to me is I want to be vegan. Like, I really, really want to be vegan, but I'm not ready for that commitment right now. But I really think that one day I will be. Um, but I also don't know if I'm going to go like full on vegan. Like, I really like the idea of being as vegan as possible and eating mostly vegan, but without committing to that word because of integrity, because I know that I would slip up sometimes. And my mom's a really good cook, and if she makes a holiday dinner and there's something that I really want, like, I don't know, just let's say sweet potato casserole because it has marshmallows, and marshmallows have like ground up pig's hooves or something. So that's not vegan. But anyway, oh, and it probably has honey in there, and that's not vegan either. But my point is, well, integrity. So if I was to say that I'm going to be vegan, but then I go and eat these things that are non vegan, then kind of seems hypocritical. And I would rather not label myself so I can do what feels right in the moment rather than give myself a hard label and then lack integrity by doing something that contradicts it. Um, what else do I want to talk about with integrity? An example of having integrity is it's not it's not just keeping a promise. For example, it's not just showing up on time every time because you feel like, oh yeah, I'm a good person if I show up on time. That's not integrity. Things happen, things get in the way, and it comes up like sometimes I'm late when I'm supposed to be somewhere. So just because I'm late doesn't mean I lack integrity. The integrity comes in where if I am going to be late, I will contact the person, let's say that I'm supposed to meet, and I will say, I'm running late. So that restores my integrity because it's, again, a person being whole and complete because there's no holes. There's no holes. It's the person is transparent. You're able to like see and understand this person instead of being confused. You know, when people say like, "Oh, this person's so shady," like, I texted him and he said that he was gonna do this thing, but then I caught him and he was doing this other thing or whatever. Like, oh my god, so shady. So integrity is like the opposite. It's like, it's clearing things up. So there's going to be confusion sometimes in life, and it's basically clearing it up. So if someone is confused about something, then the other person can explain, like, oh, this is why it happened, and just making sure that you're on the same page, and then there's mutual respect. Um, yeah, integrity is just super important, and it helps make everyone feel better. When there's no integrity, it really doesn't feel good. So I'll give you an example. It's kind of silly, but for work, I have to clock in and out. And sometimes I forget to clock out if, let's say, well, it's kind of complicated. I'm an assistant. So then if I take a client, I clock out because I'm getting paid commission instead of hourly while I do the client's hair. So I have to clock out and then do the client's hair. So sometimes I'm so focused on what I'm doing that I forget to actually clock out. Well, yesterday that happened. I forgot to clock out, and I felt so bad because earlier in the day I had another clock issue because of my break. It got complicated. I had to split up my break, and so my manager had to adjust the time clock for me. So then later, when I realized I forgot to clock out, I just felt so bad. I felt like the worst person in the world. Like, I just felt so annoying because two adjustments in one day, like, what's wrong with me? So before I discussed it with the manager, I felt so bad. I just felt like a horrible human being. But I cleared it up today. I apologized. I explained, I forgot and I'm really sorry. And those were very genuine statements. And he forgave me and we cleared it up and I felt a lot better after. Still felt a little dumb, but I mean, we were able to laugh about it together because I think he appreciated the fact that I addressed the issue. That's something about integrity. If you have the guts to address an issue that was your fault, how can someone stay mad at you? I mean, it's like all we ever ask about someone. Like, think about it this way, no one's perfect. And think about when you're mad at someone, if that person comes to you and apologizes authentically and explains, his or her side of the story and says, I didn't mean anything by it, I didn't mean to hurt you, and all this stuff, like, when someone says all the right things, it's hard to stay mad. And I think the reason is because subconsciously we realize their level of integrity and we appreciate that because it's just so considerate. It's like really considering our feelings, and it's just really nice, and it makes for smooth sailing. So I definitely recommend taking a look at your level of integrity in your life. I think if you have a high integrity, then people will respect you and it'll make things easier in life. Nobody is perfect. People mess up. But if you can own up to it, then people will like you better. So that's all for now. Tune in to my next video. Thanks for watching.